give me a little background on how you grew up and sort of how you came to real estate, but I wanna sort of start our story on how you, ended up playing basketball at 2 o'clock in the morning and letting the ladies sleep on the floor in your
Oh,
hotel room.
I was living in Houston, Texas. I was going to the University of Houston, and I was living in a room half the size, half the size of this room right here. And I slept on a floor on a little like 3 by 6 cushion. And I met this woman. She'd asked me at 2 o'clock in the morning that she needed a place to stay. She was knocking on the manager's door, and she needed a place to stay. And I told her I didn't know her, but back then I had grown up very religious and very giving and very trusting of people. When I grew up, my dad would pick up hitchhikers on the side of the road all the time and bring them home and feed them. He said, "Hey, you can sleep right here on my floor," because that's all I had.
Yeah.
So in the morning, she was gone, and then she came back for a few days, um, and then she disappeared for a little while. And like 2 months later, she came back, and I asked her what her name was, and her name was D. That's the only thing I knew. And then another couple of months passed, and I was playing basketball at 2 o'clock in the morning, and because I couldn't sleep, and she just walked up like an angel, I imagine, just walked up. Now, in my adult life, I can think back on this like this, but she just walked up, and I said, "Hey, D, what are you doing here?" He says, "Well, I came to sell my house," and I said, "Well, I thought you were homeless." "What do you mean you have a house?" She says, "I have a house in New Orleans." Um, she said it was 4,000 square feet, and it was 2 floors, um, and it was a unit above and 2 units below, so it was 3 units. And she was describing it to me, and it sounded grand and amazing. And I said, "Well, how much do you want for it?" And she said, $10,000.
Mm.
And then I told her there, right on the spot, "I'll buy it from you." This was Friday. And I said, "I'll buy it from you." And she said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah. Let's meet up on Monday and we'll go through the motions." At that time, I was I was 21 years old, and I'd never purchased a home before. I'd never even knew what
Yeah.
it took to purchase a house.
Yeah, you just saw the
I just
opportunity and was
said,
like,
"You know
yeah,
what? This is like a deal of a lifetime.
yeah.
I'm saying yes." Um, and right, and so the very next, I said, "Give me the address."